next, and again we're still blocking in, so I'm going to move the hand up, and I'm going to go back to the weight here, and then move everything forward, but lean the gun back, and then rotate. Here, let me rotate the gun. More towards the player, because you'd be pulling the magazine away from the gun towards yourself to put it into your ether pouch, so you could put it into the black hole of wherever the Arma people put their discarded magazines before it goes into your inventory. So he grabs it, he pulls down, and then and then it just instantly comes out. Well, here's the thing. Because we had not put down, what you'll notice here is that the magazine is not where it needs to be on this frame, but it's all the way where it needs to be on that frame. And that's because this is the first frame, outside of the very first frame, to have a defined keyframe for the magazine. So we need to copy, select the magazine bone, which is this right here, copy it, go to the frame that we need it to be at that position, which really will be 1, 2, 3, 6, about here, and then put it in there so that it only moves in between these frames. So then you get this. Need to increase the time a little bit more. Now, the thing about the hand is that since the weapon has rotated, we need to rotate the hand too, just for continuity, and then can view. Now, one of the things Hyper will tell you to do in his video is to go animate the weapon first and get like the general idea of what you want to have occur, instead of going bit by bit by bit. I find this to be a lot easier personally, but there's multiple ways to get this kind of stuff done. So again, because in Arma 3 you can't actually do anything with this bone here, and the magazine will actually move relative to this bone. Now what you can do is you can stop worrying about it, and you can come out here. Let's go out 24 frames, so to 54 here, and we're going to rotate the hand down, and once the hand is rotated down, we're going to put it in that whatever it is, the little gun pouch. I keep calling it an ether, trying to be funny, but put it down here to that air, to imply that you've discarded the magazine. You can open up the hand and whatnot, but for this video I'm not gonna spend the time. And so right now the hand's gonna come down, but comes down almost immediately, and not in a natural way. So let's go here, and then let's put it about there. And as you can see, I'm getting a deformity on the hand. So rotate that to fix it. And so right now we have what? He grabs the magazine, and then he pulls it out, and then the weapon stops here on this frame. So if he pulls the magazine out, that's going to be a motion that's more upward. So here, and then I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 with the weapon, which we're going to set it to the 3D cursor and do this in the first person view, and rotate the weapon up slightly and push it forward slightly, and then on over the next 6 frames we're going to have it come down and then rotate itself back almost into a straight position, and then bring this down a bit. Well, not that much. I'll rotate it down and push it forward. So now you see that little hop. So that, you know, comes up and he pulls. Now you see the hand here isn't really selling it so much, but that's so just a little less. Then go on here and you can scroll down in this, find where the magazine bone is, and it's going to rotate from there to there. And the key thing here is that while and I should redact a statement I had earlier. Yeah, it's possible to make very detailed animations in the model config, but you have to figure it out manually. You cannot get it from the animations in here, or at least for now. But you also have to be aware that these animations have to work for both the prone and standing. So I think I should cover here is that we're going to make two animations. One is the standing animation and one is the prone animation, but the weapon itself is only going to have one animation from the model config. You know, it's not like in the model config you have the animations for if you're standing and if you're not. So whatever happens on your weapon, you have to be able to comfortably do both standing and prone. And when we get to the prone animation, I'll show you some of that. Well, or when I show you a prone animation, we'll get to some of the minor details here. Let's see if I can't do that just a wee bit better. But yeah, this is pretty much what you need to do. For the sake of this video, I'm going to show you an example of the end result here soon. But this is pretty much what you want to do, and you want to go all the way through. And then once you block in everything, then you want to go back in and test your timing. You want to test and not in Arma, but in Blender, render it out. You can render out animations using Opengl render animation, which I'll do here real quick, and that just renders what's in the screen. Now right now I have some other things running on my computer, so I can't run these animations at the normal speed that they would be at. But then what you can do is you can go and do a playback to give a better idea of what the animation would be. Again, this is at 30 frames per second, and you want to render out these animations at 30 frames per second. So let me give you an idea of what everything will look like once it's all said and done. Okay, so this is a project that I'm working on for the group I'm involved with, and it's a port of the SA58 from Arma 2, and it's being retextured and all sorts of good stuff. But I decided to go make a custom animation for it. So as you can see here, I have all of the frames. So let's say that you had a full animation as you do here and you're all done. What do you need to do? Well, once you've made your rig an Arma object, which it should already be in the tutorial, in the example file, then you can come down and click this arrow, and it'll say frame range. And what you want to do is you want to put the end of your animation and the start of your animation, but you want to put this step to be 1 frame so that it puts every single frame, then skipping every 5 frames. Skipping every 5 frames will make your animation look like it's jumping in a VCR. So, let's get a quick preview of the animation here. And you can also see it in third person here. You can turn on the only render. That's more or less what it's going to look like. I'm going to work on it a little bit longer, but that's pretty much what your end result will be. A couple things here with the prone animation. Now, the thing about prone is that, again, the weapon animations, the actual physical weapon itself has one set of animations. So you can see here, I have in the standing animation him using the Russian, reach under the weapon and pull the bolt thing. That's very difficult to do in prone, and it look right without it looking really jank that I found. I think Toady got to work, but I haven't. So, I have these 2 animations that are timed to the same exact animation of the weapon, and these both work in game. And then once that's done, of course, you come over here to the RTM animation, and then you'd click export, but make sure that static is not assigned. And so if we turn only render off for a second and stop the animation, we can go through this animation bit by bit. It starts here, and then he lets go of the weapon, and then he goes into grabbing the magazine and pushing the bullet release, pulling the magazine out, it coming down just like we had done on the AK, and then he pulls out another magazine. And then I have this thing, a modifier. The magazine in this is not actually a part of the same mesh as the weapon itself, and I have a mask set on it so that it will disappear about the same times you want to have it disappear in Arma, because that's the trick. You make the magazine move a little bit, but disappear and have it actually hide when it shouldn't be on the weapon, and we'll go over that when we get to the model config video. But then he rotates it in, about the same distance, and then he reaches underneath and pulls the bolt. After a while, you'll start to get used to the different things that you'll need to do, and one of the things I recommend besides Hyper's videos is to go watch those slow motion Battlefield 4 reload, Battlefield 3 reload animation videos, because what that'll enable you to do is see all the subtle animations that you don't necessarily see by watching it in real time or even playing the game itself that add to the realism of the weapon. A great example being that weapons jiggle in Battlefield 3 and 4 after you pull the bolt, and in some cases bolts will slam shut but then open a little bit because of inertia. And it's all those kind of like small details that really help a weapon feel unique and alive, especially in a game like Arma that doesn't have that many options for animating weapons or making weapons feel alive. Now the rest of this video is just going to be me making another AK reload animation, and there's going to be music in the background, hopefully, but it's going to give you a brief idea of, or I should say an extended idea of how long it takes and what's going on with animating for Arma 3. And then in the next video, I'm going to show you how I'm going to go over what you need to do to export all your files into Blender, from Blender to Arma 3, and what you need to do to the textures so that they look proper.